Okay, guys, welcome to another episode of WrestleSlam. This is the WWE draft. We're going to talk about some of our predictions and some of the movers and I suppose the biggest movers in our areas. Yet again, it's probably one of the biggest times of the year where superstars move to Raw, move to SmackDown. In some cases, perhaps even go back to NXT. There's a couple of names that have not been drafted, and maybe that means they're going to go back to NXT. Time will only tell. In a recent poll on WWE.com, people were asked who made the best move. So the question was who was the biggest star to move, and everyone reckons Bray Wyatt's move was pretty big. Obviously, Seth Rollins was there as well, but believe it or not, Bray Wyatt was actually the biggest mover according to a poll on WWE.com. So lads, first of all, the poll has been pretty good. Obviously, there was a lot of predictions, a lot of stuff that we knew wouldn't happen. But we're going to go straight to WWE Raw. Obviously, Drew McIntyre has stayed. AJ Styles is gone. Obviously, Bobby Lashley's still there. Obviously, Bray Wyatt was the big move. Phil, I'm going to go to you first. Did you enjoy the draft, and do you think there's been any big moves so far?
The draft was a weird one. I didn't like this thing about like people being drafted to the show they were on already.
Yeah, strange.
I thought that was very bizarre.
Yeah, it is. It's makes no
but
sense.
apparently Fox and like USA have a lot of input on who goes where.
Yeah.
So it was really strange to see the IC title be pushed so far down. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful. But
I think the women's title and the tag titles were before it even, I think, weren't they?
Yeah, I think the big surprise to me personally is Kevin Owens, because he needed a change big time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, Aleister Black has also moved, so I don't want that feud to continue either.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
But it looks like it might for a little bit. But overall, it was predictable enough with one or two small things. Jeff Hardy was another one that I was very surprised with.
What was that?
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd move. I honestly didn't think he'd move.
Yeah. There's obviously Terry's behind that as well.
Well, the Matt Riddle one is the big Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he said something about his wife said something about the women.
Yeah. Well, I think it was good to say. Like, I seen the whole Ricochet thing. So I think Ricochet was in the second draft, but
yeah, he should have moved. He really should have moved.
Yeah, like I could see Ricochet kind of shine on SmackDown. Personally, I reckon he needs to go back to NXT and get back to doing what he's doing best. Obviously, he just wants to wrestle and be pretty much near the main card. But obviously, Matt Riddle going to Raw is an interesting one. Like, who could he possibly feud with at Raw? That's the question,
Yeah, that's a big one, all right. I was trying to think of it last night, but I'm not actually sure, to be honest.
Yeah. And Johnny, obviously, you spotted that Sheamus has gone to Raw. Good move for Sheamus?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. Because like there's so many people on Raw, I could kind of see him getting lost in the shuffle. I mean, him and McIntyre, I'd love to see that. Like, if they do that, that's brilliant. Like, if that's the plan, I'd really love to see that in the main event slot. Like, I seen them wrestle against each other way back in like 2006 when they were both on the indies over here. And so like I'd love to see that in a proper program. So I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle there. That's kind of always my fear with people going to Raw. Yeah. Like Matt Riddle's gone there now as well. Like, I just hope he just doesn't get lost in the shuffle. There's so much talent on Raw. So that'd be my main concern with Sheamus.
Yeah.
Because like Elias as well showed up last night. He was out for a long time. So that's another kind of big hitter who's gone to Raw as well.
Yeah, it's like, as you look at Raw at the moment, lads, obviously you've got McIntyre, you've got Bobby Lashley, R-Truth, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Braun, Matt Riddle, Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, who's fallen on the pecking order a small bit, which is crazy. Yeah. Ricochet, Elias, obviously Sheamus, Angle, I mean, like Tucker, Drew, there's Titus O'Neil. Yeah, it's obviously, when it comes to the women's, then obviously you've got Charlotte Flair, who's still rumoured to be at Raw.
I actually like Lacey Evans. I just don't think she's booked right.
She's not.
Yeah, me too.
She had a really good push there a few months back, and it just seemed like she don't know what's going on with her. And she's even changed her image a small bit. Like, She's really trying to make it work.
But maybe this move will help her revitalise. They've also moved Nikki Cross as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Obviously, Peyton Royce is there as well.
I'd say they probably wanted Nikki on the same show as Alexa, because they could probably continue on doing something there, maybe, with the way she's with the Fiend now.
Do you reckon the Fiend could possibly have a stable, as in like he could, convert maybe Nikki Cross to be on the dark side, or is it just a case of he's going to go solo with Alexa Bliss?
I think that's going to go on for the next few months.
Yeah,
probably, but that's something I'd like to. That's something I'd like to see. Some kind of, where he, like the Ministry of Darkness back in the day with Undertaker, where he was, kind of mystically converting all of these guys. Like, I'd love to see something like that with the Fiend. I think that'd be really interesting. It's a good idea.
Definitely. Yeah. And like, what's the situation with Mandy Rose? Is it obviously she moved to Raw a few weeks back?
Yeah.
The rumor was she didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it was something to do with the Miz, maybe. Is that actually
real?
Something happened?
According to last night, the Miz kind of made the move for her, but I don't know how he did, because how does anyone have that power?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that was just for storyline, I think. More
that's definitely storyline. But like, the thing is, they moved Tucker to Raw as well.
Well, it's good news for Tucker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great news for Tucker. That might be the sign of something.
They didn't move Otis, so I don't know what Otis is going to be doing.
Yeah.
Losing the Money in the Bank, hopefully.
Well, the Miz is suing him, so he might lose the case. I don't like that.
Like, what's going to happen with it then? Like, they're hardly going to give it to Miz. Like,
I know.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be vacated and there'll be another match for it or something like that. Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
But like, I could definitely see a twist. Like, is it the case for the first time ever we see a Money in the Bank winner go after a different belt?
That would. I'd prefer that. I prefer that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, Sami Zayn could definitely lose to Otis.
Well, it makes sense. Obviously, he's not going to beat Roman. There's no fucking way they're going to let Roman.
No.
Roman's the best thing in the WWE right now.
Yeah, so
for sure.
He's untouchable. So does he go after the Intercontinental belt?
I think he should. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they just randomly showed up at Raw and went for that belt.
Well, maybe he could do it like with the Money in the Bank, Maybe he could.
Maybe. I'm not
just
sure.
That one. Obviously, we've seen the split of the New Day, which is, geez, they got a good
Thank
run.
God.
I know you like him. I know Jerry likes him.
Good guy.
Sorry, Jer.
They got a good run, though, to be fair, lads, didn't they?
Yeah, they were 5 years together.
Yeah, I think it was time.
I think they were very good. I just didn't like this cheesiness dance that they do.
Yeah, Big E was a good man to dance. But is it the case now that Big E's going to go on to bigger things? He's going to get that push.
The rumour is that he's supposed to win the Royal Rumble.
How long is he there? He's there a while. Like, he's there since...
Big E's nearly there 10 years.
Yeah, he was there with Punk, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's nearly there 10 years.
Do they change the name? That's the question.
Yeah, me and John ran about this recently.
Yeah, definitely. But he needs to be Big E Langston again. I don't know. Big E to me just sounds stupid. But like, they have to change things up with him. Like, get rid of the goofy crap. Get rid of the New Day side of things with him, and make him into more of a badass again.
Yeah.
But that's something as well, right? That's something as well that I've always kind of given out about. Like, if a team breaks up, why do they wear the same gear?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't like that. I don't like that either.
Same. Like, that's what happened to Christian and Edge as well years ago. Christian never had his own identity.
That was the problem with Reigns for a long time after the Shield as well.
Yeah,
I mean, they left him with all the Shield stuff. I mean, he still has that freaking music. Is he? I heard he's meant to be changing the music.
Yeah, he's getting new music.
Oh, please. Yeah.
I hope it's really dark music, because Roman Reigns is the best thing in the company right now, which is great.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Switching to the SmackDown draft, lads. SmackDown was looking strong. Obviously, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, Big E, Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, Otis, Murphy, Lars Sullivan, lads.
I know John's a big fan of him.
And Shorty G.
Lars Sullivan is like...
I don't know what I'd put that more in past tense, maybe.
I'm going to open up and sit back and watch this.
Like,
No.
I do like him. I mean, he had so much potential. Like, I like the monsters, like the big heavyweights that can actually go.
Yeah.
And he had such a good image and everything, but like, there's just such a mountain of dirt on him that, like, between the stuff he said and like the other, extracurricular activities that he's been involved in before, I don't know. Like, it's hard not to. It's just hard to take him seriously, knowing all that stuff.
Yeah. There's obviously there's a lot of accusations. Accusations will fly. They'll always roar about, but supposedly, according to sources, he's lost the locker room. Now, could be absolute bullshit for all we know, but Lars obviously was in NXT, and then obviously he was moving to the main card. We know there was a lot of anxiety issues. He was having problems dealing with the switch. Then obviously he did make his debut. He was explosive. He was like Brock Lesnar, just attacking everyone, kicking the shit out of people. We've seen him in Dublin at WWE Live. But is it the case, he gets that push, or is he going to be in the same boat as Matt Riddle?
I actually think Vince McMahon really likes him, so he's going to do what he's doing now for the next 6 months. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see him getting the Ryback push, but I just don't know. Will he lose favor because of all the other stuff? Because, I don't know. They obviously have plans for him. Like, it's obvious that they like him. They have plans with him, that they're willing to look past the behind the scenes stuff, like, that everybody keeps bringing up and everything. Like, so there's obviously plans for him. Whether they'll stay the course with him now or not, I don't know. I don't know. Time will tell on that. Like, I kind of hope they do. I hope the other stuff kind of diminishes, and, like, if he had some, really good matches and stuff, it might take people's minds off of all of that. Like, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Is it fair to say, lads, that Seth Rollins is the big mover to SmackDown?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
It's the first time he's ever been moved. Like, he's always been Raw since day one.
Yeah.
And it gives the possibility of so much good stuff. I mean, like, they could do great stuff with him and Daniel Bryan. That's what I'd like to see straight away, is a really good program with them.
That's WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has the potential to be really, really good stuff. I really want to see a program with him and Reigns with Rollins as a face. But I wouldn't dive into that straight away. I'd leave Rollins in the heel role for another couple of months till people.
Next summer.
Maybe, yeah, or maybe even after WrestleMania, make that Reigns' kind of post-WrestleMania feud or something, maybe. But yeah, he was the biggest move for me. Like, the Fiend, I think, like, he'll do big things on Raw and everything, but I think it'll be kind of more of the same. I don't think it's going to, like, revitalize him or anything like that. Whereas Rollins, even though he's been doing really good stuff the last couple of months and everything, I think this is going to be like a really big rejuvenation of Rollins. He's so many new people to work with. I was disappointed that Jeff Hardy went to Raw, because I would have liked to have seen something with Jeff and Rollins as well, and Jeff and Reigns eventually. But Rollins is the big move of the whole draft for me anyway, I think.
Definitely. Do you think Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio derail his progression? Because obviously Dominic's looking good. He's debuted at SummerSlam. He's done some really good stuff. Obviously, this storyline is going to continue, because obviously Murphy's gone to SmackDown as well. Is this a storyline that could perhaps go right up to the next 2 or 3 pay-per-views?
I reckon so. And the thing is, as well, with Rey Mysterio and Dominic would be turning on Rey if there was a crowd. They just can't do it right now.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You reckon it's the case of Rey versus Dominic at WrestleMania?
Well, if there's a crowd, I would think so. Yeah, definitely.
Is it the first time father and son have fought at WrestleMania?
No, Vince.
Shane and Vince.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
God damn it, Jerry. The most obvious one. Did Dusty and Dusty and Goldust ever fight?
Not at WrestleMania.
No.
Oh, in general, at any pay-per-view, I don't think they have it,
I don't think so.
They might have in TNA. Did they ever have a match in TNA?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But
I'm not. They probably did. I remember Dusty had a few matches in kind of the early days of TNA. He had like a bull rope match or something with AJ. I don't know if he did anything with Dustin at that point. But other than that, they teamed together all right in WCW towards the end. Remember that match with Jeff Jarrett and Ric Flair where he shoves his head into the donkey's ass and all that.
I remember. We need the
funny stuff.
The fans can email us. If the fans know, email us at WrestleSlam@outlook.com or get on to us on Instagram, WrestleSlam. Yet again, like we're looking at that women's division on SmackDown. Obviously, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Carmella, Natalya, Selena Vega, Billie Kay. What do you reckon, lads? Obviously, Bayley and Sasha Banks is it's definitely a main event waiting to happen.
Yeah, well, Hell in a Cell now is going to be the real final. Hopefully, it's the final match in this series.
Yeah. Do you think
it's been going on too long?
It's a wasted opportunity, though. They should have drug it out to WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah. Surely Sasha's going to beat Bayley at some stage for this belt.
I actually thought that Sasha was going to win Hell in a Cell, but now I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, like, you know.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if she wins again, Bayley, to be honest with you.
Well, Bayley has been incredible. Like, I like this heel turn. I think the heel turn has been incredible for Bayley.
Oh, yeah. This is
me too.
One of her proper personality.
Yeah. Is it
100%?
Is it fair to say, lads, that 2020 will be the breakout year for Bianca Belair in SmackDown?
I think this is her chance to shine now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she was
depends
going
on
Raw, like she was dead in the water.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying with Sheamus earlier on as well. It's like too many people just get lost in the shuffle on Raw, you know. So yeah, she has a way bigger opportunity, even though it's a shorter show. SmackDown just seems to they seem to be better at like having something for everybody there on some level at least, you know. So she has a bigger opportunity there. I mean, like, she has all the potential in the world. Like, so hopefully they do right by her there. You know,
I was thinking of Street Profits.
Yeah.
Is it Montel Ford? I think he could be as big as The Rock. And I'm not even joking.
You have a good theory, and I really like that. Someone said that the other day. They were on about, you know, the fact he has that charisma and that look. And
he's unbelievable. Like, he just needs that chance.
Yeah.
And he's very good in the ring as well. I mean, Jesus, the stuff he can do is unreal. Yeah, no, he has all the potential in the world. Again, it goes back to, you know, them giving him the chance and kind of, you know, leaving him alone. Like, you know, not, you know, not nitpicking everything that he does.
And not doing food poisoning storylines.
Oh, God. I'd actually forgotten about that. Oh, Jesus, that was brutal.
Yeah, but like, as I said, Bianca Belair, she had a really good Royal Rumble last year. Well, this year, I should say. And
she was in there for over 30 minutes.
Yeah, she just looked like from there on she'd shine. Obviously, she went to Raw, not much happened. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that folds as well.
And then you have Natalya.
Yeah, Natalya just seems to be happy doing her thing. Do you know what I mean?
I'm glad the thing with Lana's over. I really am glad the thing that Lana's over.
Yeah. Like, have they dropped the ball with Carmella straight away?
The thing with Carmella is she's not very good in the ring.
Yeah. She is a champ, though.
She is, but, like, the problem is she's so poor in the ring. It's, like, it's hard to take her serious.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
But then again, we have Eva Marie coming back, who's just as bad as her, so...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is she coming back?
Yeah. Yeah. Announced, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What you reckon, Phil? NXT or Raw SmackDown?
We're watching Natalya?
No, with Eva Marie.
Eva Marie, Raw. 100%.
No, I love it. And we're going to welcome her back as well. There's no doubt about it. Speaking of in pools, but people not selected, Andrade and Mickie James. Is Mickie James done, or do you reckon she's still about?
I think she'll go to Raw, but I think she'll be kind of on the fringes. She won't do anything major.
Yeah, definitely.
And Andrade?
He'll stay on Raw.
He's a good wrestler. Like.
He'll stay there because they don't like splitting up partners, and he's with Charlotte, so.
Yeah. And speaking of not in the draft, we're going to mention Becky Lynch, Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
Obviously, Edge, Jinder Mahal. Jinder. I absolutely love Jinder. Wishing him a fast recovery and hope he comes back. Samoa Joe, who we want to see back in the ring. Mojo Riley, obviously Bo Dallas, Big Show. John Cena, who I'd love to see back. Bill Goldberg, Ronda Rousey, and The Undertaker. I'm going to go to Jinder Mahal. Jonathan, what's your take on Jinder Mahal?
Oh, I love Jinder. When he comes back, I really hope he goes to SmackDown.
Yeah,
weren't this, at least I heard it rumored anyway, that he was supposed to be turning face before he got injured.
Yeah.
Is that true? I don't know, but like I think a face turn with him. He's another guy I'd like to see against Reigns. Yeah. That probably wouldn't happen for a while, but yeah, I hope he gets a really big push when he comes back. I think he's really good. He's very underrated, I think, as far as he's portraying his character, and he's decent in the ring as well. Like, he's better than what people give him credit for. He's good with that old school kind of slower, old school kind of heel style, which I like a lot. Like, so yeah, no, I'm very big on Jinder Mahal. I hope he goes to SmackDown and does well when he comes back.
Yeah, Phil, what's your take, my man?
I'm just exact same. I think he's so underrated. Like, I was delighted when he won the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Randy Orton secretly smiled, I'd say. He was like, this is brilliant. So he lost a bit, because obviously Randy beat him. Sorry, Jinder beat Randy, but I'd say Randy was fucking delighted, I'd say Vince was on the back saying, oh, taking on the money in the dollars. Like, but we actually seen Jinder lose the belt in Manchester to AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Although Phil was on his phone, he didn't actually see the pinfall. Look, but we'll say nothing. But anyway.
Yeah, he spoiled it for me, you prick.
But anyway, Phil, that was so funny when that happened. But yeah, Jinder is so underrated. Like, I remember, obviously, I got a chance to interview him at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans, and he's such a good guy. Like, you know what I mean? He spends, like, he was asking me, was the interview all right, and do I want any more content? Like, he's just a great guy, and he is so underrated. He really is. But like, he loves to be the bad guy as well. Like, you know what I mean? He really does. Speaking of one,
he's really good at it.
Speaking of one of them on that list, Mr. John Cena.
Yeah, he'll just go wherever they want him to go. He'll be Raw one week, he'll be SmackDown the next week.
When are we going to get John Cena back to Raw or SmackDown, or maybe NXT? Oh.
A long time.
Yeah, well, with the fact that he can't really do much in Hollywood at the moment. Maybe you might get him back for something, but it'll be very, very short term. I don't know, would it even be a match or anything? What I find interesting now, because he signed the new contract that time for, what was it, like 2 or 3 matches a year or something like that, is Goldberg. When are we going to see Goldberg back? I wonder what they're going to do with him. Are they going to do him in
Survivor Series?
Sorry?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was Survivor Series.
Oh, I'd love it. The sooner he gets back, the better. I love Goldberg.
Is it fair to say Goldberg is it a known fact he has 1 or 2 matches left in the contract, or?
Yeah. He does. Yeah.
Well, was it a 2-year contract with 3 or 4 matches a year, something like that? 2 or 3 matches.
Like, we might see Reigns and Goldberg next year, to be honest.
Oh, we have to. They have to do it. I mean, I would have seen it in person, like, if this year hadn't been a complete and utter bitch. But yeah, I really want to see that match, spear versus spear. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy or anything, but just because even the build-up that they did for it was good. Like, the press conference they did, like, the 2 of them are so intense. So, like, they have to do that. So I can't wait for whenever that ends up happening. Goldberg always makes things interesting. Like, I know Phil doesn't like him.
I think that him losing the thing with the Fiend was ridiculous.
Him beating the Fiend?
The way they built up the Fiend and Goldberg come in and just...
Yeah, it was just like, this is just, like, worthless.
Yeah, but look...
I was delighted.
The Fiend got the push in the end.
Yeah.
The sort of names...
Becky Lynch.
What do you reckon of Becky Lynch and Samoa Joe, lads?
Becky Lynch has to go to SmackDown with Rollins.
But she might not come back at all. Do you reckon she'll come back? Like, she could take a year or 2 out, like, easily, after giving birth.
Yeah, I think she'll be back, but, like, maybe not a match.
Yeah. Maybe pushing the buggy.
Yeah, I'd say it'll be a while.
The buggy out the Titantron kind of thing, like.
It's actually due in the next few months, I think.
Yeah, another 2-3 months, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Samoa Joe, lads, is a name that we know well. What's going on with him? Like, I know there's been a lot of injuries and stuff. Surely he's going to come back.
A lot of concussions and a lot of niggly injuries. I think he'd be very good as a heel on SmackDown.
Yeah. He needs to come back soon, though.
I don't know. I'd say he's probably comfortable in the commentator's position. He's really, really good at it. Like, I mean, they're not going to push him as the number one guy. So is it kind of worth his while coming back for more matches when he's fairly banged? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Joe fan. I'd love to see him back.
Yeah.
But he might be better sticking to the commentary now, because that's a big role to have. And I imagine it's very, well-paid role then as well. So is it worth it putting his body through more trauma when he doesn't really have a whole lot left to accomplish? So I don't know. I really don't know if he'll be back in the ring or not. Maybe one or two things here or there, maybe, but I don't think he will be on a consistent basis.
Yeah, time will tell, I suppose. Now, two more names on that list, lads. Obviously, Ronda Rousey. Are we going to see Ronda Rousey back? I think we are.
I
friggin' hope so.
Yeah. If she doesn't come back by next WrestleMania, I don't think she's coming back.
Is it the case she's waiting for Becky to come back? So Becky comes out and then boom.
Yeah, you need to have that. We never really got that one-on-one match, did we, between them?
Yeah, and we never got the rematch with her and Charlotte either, because that didn't have a conclusive finish. So I'd love to see that, because their match at Survivor Series was freaking amazing. I loved that match. I loved all of Ronda's matches. She was freaking fantastic.
My favorite Ronda match is that mixed tag match
with Triple H.
Her debut.
Yeah,
that was really good. I actually really liked the remember the one she had with Nikki Bella at the was it Evolution pay-per-view? Yeah. I think it was.
Yeah.
That was excellent. You go back and watch that, and Nikki Bella held her own as well. She was underrated in the ring as well, I think.
That's an amazing match with Nia Jax.
Oh yeah, that was a very good match.
Nearly all of her matches were really good. Her match with Sasha was good, but that match with Charlotte at Survivor Series was fantastic.
The only match I didn't like was the Alexa Bliss one, because Alexa just looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just meant to be a squash more than anything, wasn't it? But yeah, that one of Survivor Series was fantastic. Like, all of her matches had such an intense feel. I mean, she was the female Brock. She brought that legitimacy and that intensity to all the matches. That's missing a lot. So I really, really hope she comes back. I was disappointed when she left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, last name on that list I'm going to bring up is The Undertaker, right? No, he's not really quashing rumours that he's retired. Obviously, he is retired because we've seen the last ride and this and that, but do we all agree here that he's going to come back for one match at Mania in the near future?
I think if there's a crowd, I think they're definitely.
Yeah.
I can't call it. I actually don't know. I'd love it if he did in some ways, but it's like we've said before, it's just so freaking risky.
Yeah.
Like the boneyard, the ending. I mean, he spoke about that himself, like driving off into the darkness. Like, it's such a perfect ending and symbolized his career so much as well. That whole.
I'm not gonna lie, but I actually watched that and I cried.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I was kind of the same.
Yeah, it upset me, because obviously we've been there so long. We've been watching The Undertaker since day one. Do you know what I mean? But I actually got really upset because all these last couple of months and the last year and a bit, like, we've seen that the Taker is absolutely a fucking gent. He is a good guy, that has a great heart, and you know what I mean? He's actually a family man behind it all, but it was quite emotional because I seen a picture on Instagram. It was like it was a child sitting down watching The Undertaker debut in 1990, I think, right? And then it was like the boy / teenager with the school sack on, right? And then it was the man going to work, and a bit of hair was gone from the back of his head. It was kind of like one of them fucking things where, like, there's been so many phases, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've all been there, because he's at that. He's, I was only 2 years of age when, he debuted, but my God, what a ride it was, you know what I mean? What a ride it was.
Yeah, for sure.
I just hope we do see him back. I hope he comes back for one match. I know he's not going to be.
Who does he fight, realistically?
It will probably be a rematch with AJ, more than likely, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him fight Kane. Just him and Kane come back for one match, and both of them walk up that ramp together, and they both retire.
Yeah. We need to see Undertaker. We need to see him retire with fans in the ring.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen next year. I don't think Mania is going to have a full crowd next year. No way.
Well, apparently so it is. Florida's wide open.
Yeah, Florida's really after opening up. So you might, depending on how the next... So you can't call it because you just don't know what way this thing is going to go. I mean, it changes every couple of weeks. Like, you know, it's up and down. So depending... Like, if it's still open, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, lads, it's been a great episode. We were in depth talking from the start to finish. I really enjoyed this one. Just want to thank all the fans for tuning into WrestleSlam, whether it's an episode or a special show we do these last few months. Like, we've done serious numbers, lads. Like, we've done thousands upon thousands of views on Facebook and YouTube. And I wouldn't be really a tech guy. Technically, I'm not great. Like, you know, there's ways out there you can probably get more views, but we've got a solid viewership every 2 weeks, every week when we do a show. It's always 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people tuned in. So we want to thank you personally. We're getting there with the Instagram page. We're getting a bit more active. And as I said, look, we'll tip away. Twitter, as always, WrestleSlam. Instagram as well, the WrestleSlam show. And you can email us at WrestleSlam@outlook.com. I'll be doing an Impact special tonight. So just keep an eye on our YouTube page for a guest from Impact Wrestling that will be on with us. We also have Georgia Smith, the British Bulldog's daughter. That show will be up this week as well. And we'll have Jonathan and Phil back with us next week for a brand new episode. It'll be the official 10th episode of WrestleSlam. Although we've done separate shows and stuff, it will be the 10th WrestleSlam episode. So stay tuned for a great episode. And lads, thank you very much as always for joining me.
All right, take care, lads.